Update 2. I got home after a 14-hour shift and found my wife's ex-husband drilling my wife. I grabbed my Magnum and told him to leave. But then my daughters stepped in and said, "Dad, you're not in charge of this family anymore. You need to accept the new reality. Uncle Bob is twice the man you'll ever be." I didn't say a word, just smiled, and walked out. The next day, they got one text saying what I did. My WhatsApp exploded with 57 desperate SMS, all begging me to come back. I took a slow breath and forced my expression to remain neutral. I could sense Karen's stare on the side of my head, so I shot her a glance. She was smirking in a satisfied kind of way, as if reveling in the tension. Of course, I thought, she's always disliked me, always favored her father, Marcus. But then the real stinger dropped. Her next words made it clear she was not just a spectator. She was a co-conspirator. "Mom has her needs and desires," Karen said, her tone dripping with teenage contempt. "She doesn't have to sit around waiting for you to be, I don't know, interesting or whatever." She rolled her eyes. "She's free to do what she wants. You don't own her." A spike of fury shot through me, but I tamped it down. "Karen," I said sternly, "that's between Brenda and me. This is our marriage." She gave a shrug. "And I'm involved too, whether you like it or not. If I want to see my dad, or if she wants to see her ex-husband, that's none of your business. And it sure as hell isn't cheating if she announces it." I scanned Karen's expression and saw so much smug defiance there. That's it, I realized, she's not just supporting her mom. She's actually encouraging this entire fiasco. Possibly, she was the mastermind behind Brenda reconnecting with Marcus. The private investigator's photographs had suggested Karen had been present on some of those visits. This runs deeper than I thought. Still, I feigned calm. "Well," I said, raising my hands, "I see I'm outnumbered here. If you two have already agreed on this plan, I'm not about to stand in your way. But Brenda, if you're going to go off for a month to play house with your ex-husband, I have terms of my own." Brenda folded her arms, her face still etched in annoyance. "Terms? Don't tell me you're about to lecture me on morality, Brian. You're not my dad." I shook my head. "No lecture. I'm simply stating that during these 30 days, we'll be legally separated. You sign the paperwork, you forfeit any financial support from me, for you or Karen. And in return, I'll be free to do whatever the hell I want. No obligations." "Are you serious?" she asked, frowning. I nodded. "Dead serious. You want your freedom, fine, you can have it. But I'm not going to bankroll the affair. And I'm not going to be labeled a fool. If you decide to come back, I want it all on paper. So if you vanish for a month, I'm free as well." I turned to Karen. "That also means I'm not paying for anything regarding you, Karen. College, car, phone bills, nothing. Not during the separation." Karen snorted dismissively, but I caught a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. "I can handle my own stuff. My dad will help out," she said, though her tone was less confident than usual. Brenda cut in. "Fine, draft the damn papers. I'll sign them." That quickly, with an ease that sliced me like a blade, Brenda agreed to disclaim her marriage for a month. My throat tightened, but I forced a cool smile. "All right," I said, "I'll call the lawyer." That was the beginning of something so dark and twisted, so soul-crushing, that even now I still find it hard to believe how seamlessly it all unfolded. But oh, how meticulously I had planned my response once the PI uncovered the truth. For weeks, I'd been preparing. I had pictures, text messages, even video evidence. My approach was going to be swift, legal, and financially devastating. If Brenda wanted to risk our marriage on an ex-husband who had beaten her nearly senseless before, then I intended to show her exactly how catastrophic that decision could be. The next day, the documents were drawn up. Brenda, arrogant as ever, signed them without reading a single word. I caught Karen peering over, a small grin on her face, as she watched her mother scribble her signature. Karen didn't sign anything, there was no need. She was still a minor in the sense that she wasn't out of high school yet, although she was 18. But the separation agreement covered my refusal of financial support for the both of them. My lawyer, Mr. Gomez, said it was unusual but workable. Brenda's attitude was a mixture of smug triumph and false bravado, completely convinced she was in the right. She had Karen whispering in her ear, "Just sign it, Mom. Brian can't do anything about it. In the long run, this is just for show. He'll still be there once we get back." I overheard that whisper from the corner of the room, and my jaw clenched. Karen's feeding Brenda illusions, I thought grimly. She's the one. Her mother, on it, it was suddenly so obvious. Their texts, their shared scorn, the times Karen had snuck away in the evening and refused to tell me where she was going. Clearly, she'd been pushing Brenda toward reconnecting with Marcus. And Brenda, saddled with her old trauma, but also an odd longing for the thrill of that dysfunctional past, had fallen right in line. "Brian, let's just do this." Brenda snapped at me when I told her we'd finalize everything by the next morning in court. "I've got a month away to look forward to. And you can do whatever it is you want." "Sounds good," I said with feigned calm. Inside, I felt a swirl of confusion and anger. Part of me wanted to scream at her. Why, but the other part resigned itself to the unstoppable momentum of her betrayal. Brenda packed her bags with unbridled excitement. She was humming under her breath as she folded clothes and placed them in a large suitcase. Karen was helping, rummaging through drawers and offering cheerful suggestions like, "Mom, you should wear that black dress Dad got you for your birthday. It'll drive Marcus crazy." I stood in the doorway of the bedroom, arms folded. The scene looked so bizarre, like they were preparing for some vacation. In a sense, they were, a vacation to her ex-husband's place, where apparently every twisted desire would be indulged. The final sting was hearing Karen say, "Don't worry, Mom. Dad's not going to do anything, he's just mad now. Once we get back, everything will be fine." And if he tries any crap, we'll just say it was his idea, that he forced you to sign that separation agreement. That was how I learned definitively that Karen was the puppet master. She was the one who stoked Brenda's fantasies of going back to Marcus. She was the impetus behind Brenda's brazen approach. It was Karen who insisted that telling me in advance equaled no cheating, and that they could manipulate me after the fact. The extent of her duplicity left me speechless. But it also crystallized my resolve. I would not allow them to use me anymore. They had no appreciation for my generosity, no appreciation for my role as a husband or stepfather. It was time for me to cut them loose. Brenda caught me standing there. "Don't you have anything better to do?" she said, an eyebrow raised. "We're finishing up. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more."